for a breath in and a breath out. As you inhale, lift the left leg, bend your knee, open your hip, press down through the right heel. Exhale, step left foot to lunge. Inhale and look forward. Exhale the right heel down and inhale, warrior two. Feeling your way into it. As you're ready, reach for the bind. The right hand wraps behind you. Maybe you're creating a little more space every round. With an inhale, flip and reverse for peace. And as you exhale, straighten your left knee. Reach forward now, drawing the left hip underneath for triangle pose. Left fingertips to left shin. Roll the right chest open. If you need to adjust, you can wiggle your right foot in a little. And again, use the leverage of your right arm to send more breath into your chest. With a breath in, bend the left knee, left elbow to knee, unwind the right arm, little stretch there. Right hand comes to the right hip, offer the left arm forward. And maybe this is where you get to. You rise to your right toes and that's enough. But otherwise it's that leap of faith, lifting back through the right heel, opening the hips nice and wide for half moon pose. Maybe extending the right arm to the sky. Just one more breath. Right hand to the earth, right foot to the earth. Little wiggle. Make your way back to down dog, the way you like to get there. Jump back, step back, flow or don't. Take what you need. Leave the rest. Down dog's where we meet. And one of the reasons why we've been working into the side body today is that's where we tend to store tension, stagnancy, stickiness. And as we start to work through those parts of us, things like back bends and twists become a little easier as your torso is mobile. So we'll continue to do that here. Just drop the knees. So you're in a tabletop position here. From here, you'll take the left foot out so that the left toes line up in line with your right knee, but your toes are off the mat. Once you're there, toss the arms to the sky, setting up for a gate pose. Left hand drops to the left leg, reach up through the right fingertips, reaching up and over to the left for your gate pose. If you're quite flexible, you might be able to touch your left hand down to the floor. That's not me, but maybe it's you. Just one more breath. And as you exhale, come on back through to center. Replace the left knee. Little wiggle if you need to change sides. Right foot way out to the right. Toes in line with left knee. Find the steady base. Really press down through the foot. With a breath in, you'll toss the arms to the sky. Then drop the right arm over to the right leg. Inhaling to reach the left arm up and then over, leaning to the right. Creating space in the left side body again. Right hand can touch the floor if it can touch. Take one more breath. Come on back through to tabletop. Then tuck your toes, extend your legs, downward facing dog. As you inhale, come on through to plank. Now just lift the right leg and cross it over the top of your left. Land on the right toes, adding together what we've practiced now. Lift the right arm and flip yourself over for a wild thing or a rock star. Just a baby one to begin with. Come on back through to downward facing dog. And just notice how that felt for you through the wrists, the shoulders. Walk it out. Let's come back through to plank together. Lift the left leg, crossing the left leg over the top of the right until the left toes land on the floor. We're ready for the switch now. You can lift your left arm and rotate on the ankles till the heels come down to the floor for our rock star or a wild thing. Come on back through downward facing dog. And now we can add our wild thing into our down dog. So it's the same technique, it's just that you're a little higher off the earth. As you inhale, you'll lift the right leg, bend your knee, open your hip. Press down through the left heel. Now drop the right toes behind the left leg, pivot on the feet, lifting the right arm up and over for your wild thing. Come on back through downward facing dog. Remember that if it seems like the floor's too far, you can always come into the plank variation. But let's go the other side. Inhale to lift the left leg, bend your knee, open your hip, press down through the right heel, drop the left toes behind the right leg, pivoting on the feet, lift the left arm up and over for your wild thing. And come on back through downward facing dog, and it will really be up to you now as to what you need. You can take a rest in child's pose, especially if your shoulders are a little fatigued, or maybe you rinse yourself out with a vinyasa flow. Totally up to you. We meet back in downward facing dog. As you inhale, you can lift the right leg, step the right foot outside the right hand this time, dropping into your hips, look forward, breathe in, then lower the left knee. We're setting up a lizard pose here, Pristasana, so check that your right toes are pointing forward and that your right knee and your right shoulder stay together. Your left toes can be tucked or untucked, it really depends on your body. And if you need to prop your left knee with a cushion or something else for comfort, please do that. From here, come up onto your right leg, once again, stacking the hands on the knee. And again, if you've got more room, you're really welcome to press the hips forward and down. If you find that when you come up quite high, you get some straining, some tension in the legs, you can always come back to our low lizard lunge. But from here, we'll keep offering options to add on to progress. Feel free to stop at any time. Bend up your left knee. And maybe this is where you stay. Or maybe with your left hand, you can catch the inside, the outside, some part of your foot or even your ankle to take this into a quad stretch. You'll start to feel this through the front of your left leg, sorry. If you've got loads of room, you can even start to tip the weight forward, maybe coming back down into the lower variation of lizard. Up to you. Remember, take what you need, leave the rest. Take one last breath. Release the left leg. Hands come on back down to the earth. Now step the left foot up to meet the right, outside the left hand. For Malasana, our yogi squat, drop the hips, hands come into prayer. This is such an active pose, even though it might just seem like you're hanging out. There's so much engaging, the tailbone toning down, crown of the head turning up, all the little muscles that line up along the spine, supporting that length, the sense of tallness. Good, and from here, hands to the earth, keep the left foot where it is, step the right foot back to our lizard lunge. Once again, drop the right knee, and you can stay here. If you know your body and this is enough for you, great, stay. Otherwise, you can keep coming with me. Left hand comes to rest on the left leg, right hand joins it. Again, maybe this is enough, that sense of momentum moving forward and down. Otherwise, you can bend up the right knee, reaching back to catch the right foot. Maybe drawing the heel closer to your bottom. And again, the deeper that you get into this, the closer to the floor, the more sense of stretch that you'll find in the legs. And just feel it out. There's no right or wrong. Take one last breath here. Gently release the right leg. Hands come back down inside the left foot. Step the right foot up outside the right hand. We're back in our malasana, the yogi squat. For those of you who for this is uncomfortable, you can always pop your hips onto something, a cushion or something else. And we will be here for a little while, so if at all it becomes too much, just let your bottom drop to the floor and let the soles of the feet come together for Supta Baddha Konasana instead. But otherwise, if you're still in malasana with me, let's add on our binds. You can sweep the right arm out in front of the right foot and the left arm up to the sky. Flip the palm so it faces behind you and tuck the left fingertips into the right hip crease. Again, this might be enough as you roll open the left side of the chest, or you can reach the right elbow around the right knee, maybe catching fingertips for a bind. Wherever you are is perfect. Just let the shape do the work. And if you are bound with a breath in, you can untangle and spread your wings and come on back through to center. Remember, you can choose to take a seat if you'd prefer to. Otherwise, if you're joining me, left hand out in front of the left foot, right hand to the sky, staying here or working into the bind, right fingertips tuck into left hip crease. Staying here, rolling the right side of the chest open, or bending the left elbow behind the left knee and catching fingertips. With a breath in, you'll untangle wherever you're at. And a breath out, come on back to prayer at heart space. Just one more breath. Hands to the floor, hips to the sky. Give yourself a moment, a little ragdoll, a dangle, pat on the back maybe. If you're in any other shape, we will meet in downward facing dog. With an in-breath, come on through to plank. And an exhale to your bellies. And when you get here this time, just shuffle yourself so that your forehead is on your mat. And you can go ahead and stretch your arms back behind you. The palms face down. Just allowing yourself that little bit of time to settle, to arrive on the earth. And we've been doing everything asymmetrically today, one side and then the other. So we'll keep doing that. So let's begin with the right leg. Bend it up. And if it's available, you can catch your right foot. Inside, outside, toes, doesn't really matter. If you can't touch, you can use a strap, or you can just work with your leg bent and your right arm not holding onto the foot. From here, you can offer the left arm forward, stretch it out in front of you. Take a breath in to prepare. Now just begin by lifting your head, neck and chest, gazing down. Lift the left arm, lift the left leg. Maybe then push, pull and lift through the right side. This is our Ardha Dhanurasana, half bow pose. Just taking one more breath. And then very gently release everything. Let your cheek turn to one side. Setting up for the other side. Bend up the left knee. Reach back to catch the left foot. It doesn't particularly matter where you hold it, whatever feels comfortable. Offer your right arm forward. Take a breath in, prepare. Lift the head, neck and chest, lift the right arm, lift the right leg. Now push, pull and lift the left side. One more breath in. Come on down, release. Let yourself rest. If you know that full bow pose doesn't work for you with both legs bent up, anything going on in the knees or the hips, don't worry about it. You can take Shalabhasana with your legs glued together. But if you're coming with me, full bow pose, bending up both knees, reaching back for the inside, outside, or even the ankles, if that feels better for you. And start with your big toes and your knees touching. Even if they don't stay there, it's a great way to adjust the alignment. Even already you'll notice the heart starting to open up. So that's where we'll focus. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lift the head, neck and chest, rolling the heart open. Only if it's available now will you push, pull and lift, kicking back into your hands. Keep the thigh bones moving down and back, creating space in the chest as your priority. Last breath. Come on down. Release everything. Turn a cheek to one side. You might even like to take your feet a little wider now and wiggle your pelvis, or even bend up your knees and go for a bit of a windscreen wiper, dropping the legs from one side to the other. And just take a moment here. Back bending takes a lot from ourselves physically, but also energetically. There's a sense of vulnerability as everything really opens. There's also the courage to find that openness. Acknowledge the practice for what it is. And when you're ready to move on, we'll meet in child's pose with the knees together. If you do need one last flow, you're welcome to make your way through that now. We'll meet with the knees together, the arms sweeping back, and the head just resting on the earth. Just noticing what it feels like now for your spine to be in flexion, that rounded shape, rather than extension. And when you're ready to move on, and as always, take your time, you can stay in child's pose for as long as you like. You'll make your way to a seat, and we'll make it a wide-legged seat today. So for me, that looks like my heels in both corners of my mat. But don't think that you need to take your legs this wide. Your hands can be in front or behind you, but if you notice that your spine is already starting to round, that's a really good sign that your legs are a little far apart, so you can bring them back together. You also might find it helpful to have a rolled towel or something underneath your knees, either if you're really flexible or you're not flexible at all, just to support your hamstrings, the backs of your legs. We'll begin with our twist, dropping the left hand behind you, bring the right hand to the left knee or thigh. Inhale, grow a little taller, and exhale, twist to the left. And this will be quite a small physical twist, but see where you feel it. Perhaps in between the shoulder blades or moving lower to the mid-back. The pelvis is now completely still though. Taking one more breath. And as you exhale, de-rotate, come back to center. Take the right hand behind you, left hand to right knee or thigh. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, twist right. And remember, it might not look like a huge twist. How's the experience of the twist? Where do you feel it? Coming back through to the center now. The left hand will rest on the left leg. With an in-breath, stretch the right arm to the sky. And as you exhale, it's a side bend up and over to the left. Now if your hands are getting quite close to your feet, your left hand will move inside your right foot and your right hand will hold onto the outside of your left foot, rolling your chest open to the sky. If that is way too much for you, bend both elbows, supporting your head in your hands so you're not just allowing anything to strain. Then point your right elbow right up to the sky and feel that. And inhale, stretch the right arm to the sky and like a pendulum, let it reach up and all the way back down to rest on your right leg. Left hand reaches up to the sky now. Big breath in, side bending up and over towards the right. And again, this is not your end goal, but if you can touch your foot, you're spinning your chest open to the sky. You're not turning and folding over your leg. So everybody else, bend the elbows, head rest in the hands, point the left elbow right up to the sky. It's again almost like you could lean back into it. Stretching the left arm to the sky, reaching the left fingertips all the way back to the left leg. And this time we'll fold forward straight between our legs. So again, don't worry about what this looks like. Notice how it feels. We want to enjoy a sensation of stretch, but not creating tension. So for you, maybe it's just dropping your chin into your chest and flexing your feet and allowing the backs of your legs to work. But if you've got a little more space, you can start to creep your hands forward. And once you've found a place that feels comfortable, you can drop your chin in. Remember that again, you're not looking for pain. You don't have to work this. Simply rest into yourself and allow your legs to release. With a breath in, you'll make your way all the way back up. And this time just fold the right leg in. So we'll take a half variation, sitting on the hips, turning towards the left leg. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, take a forward fold over the left leg. And once again, if you're touching your foot, right hand outside, left hand inside, drawing yourself a little closer for Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. But again, even if you're not very close, notice where you feel this. With an inhale, stretch your arms forward and then up to the sky. Drop the right hand behind you. Keep the left arm in the air. As you inhale, stargazer, bump up your hips and then come on down. Changing sides, you'll extend the right leg, fold in the left. Turn your torso just gently towards the right side. Take a breath in, and it's a forward fold towards the right leg. And after all of that movement through the torso, through the sides of the body, maybe you notice that you actually do have a little more space, even just to breathe. Even these more static stretches, there's still so much movement happening inside of you with each breath. As you're ready, with an in-breath, stretch the hands forward and then all the way up to the sky. Left hand behind you, right hand stays in the air, stargazer. And this in itself is almost like a mini wild thing, just using the knee. And come on back down. Go ahead and stretch both of your legs out nice and long now, and you can roll yourself on back to lay down. And when you get here, feel free to have a stretch, give yourself a hug, anything that feels good. And from here, we'll separate the knees toward the armpits, reaching up for the outsides of the legs or the feet for happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. Pressing down through the tail and drawing the chin to the chest. Again, note that your spine is long and you're feeling this in your hips. You might rock and roll or extend the legs, anything that feels good. And once you've got what you need, you can bring the knees back in for a little squeeze. Soles of the feet will eventually come down towards the earth. And then touch the soles of the feet and let the knees fall open. If there is a final shape that you would prefer, an inversion, another twist, anything else, make sure you take it. But otherwise, start to really draw your attention back into your body. Feel your breath, trace its path all the way down inside of you. And if you find it hard to keep your mind in your breath, you might like to add in a visualization so that as you breathe, you not just feel your breath, but you see it, maybe like a color or a light. Maybe it's like water. Maybe it's like sunshine. But notice that there's no stopping the breath. It permeates your entire body, filling you with prana, with energy, with life force, in this eternal cycle. So even if you're feeling a little stiff or stuck, you can always take the time to come back into your internal body. See and feel the life force that exists within you. Making sure that you've got what you need from your physical practice. There's only one shape left. So when you feel ready, you can extend your feet down to the bottom corners of your mat. You can offer your palms to face up. And you can allow yourself now to rest in Shavasana. The shape where everything becomes integrated, assimilated in the body, the mind, absorbing all of that goodness. I'll be here on the other side to guide you out. Asatoma satgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityoma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Starting to allow yourself the time to reawaken, bathing in the peace mantra. And maybe you feel that sense of inner peace, a deep sense of wisdom, of knowing yourself. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming and meeting yourself to practice. And if you have the luxury of time or you want to stay a little longer, feel free. Otherwise, starting to reawaken your body, maybe stretching or wiggling, or hugging your knees and rolling onto your favorite side. You can pause there on your side like a baby, or you can meet me in a seat. But just take a moment to thank your body, that beautiful container carrying you around all day long, where the magic happens. Thank yourself for your yoga. And to thank each other for sharing it, we say namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week.